I remember my first Christmas adventure with my grandma. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike right after my sister dropped the bomb. "There is no Santa Claus," she jeered. "Even dummies know that." My grandma was not the gushy kind, never had been. However, I fled to her that day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew grandma always told the truth, and I knew the truth went down a lot easier when she made her world-famous cinnamon buns. It had to be true. Grandma was home, and the buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything. She was ready for me. She snorted. "No Santa Claus? Ridiculous. Don't believe it. That rumor has been going on for around 20 years now. It makes me plain mad. Now put your coat on and let's go." "Go? Go where, Grandma?" I asked. I hadn't even finished my world-famous cinnamon bun. Where? Turned out to be Kirby's General Store, the one store in town that had a little bit of just about everything. As we walked through its doors, Grandma handed me a $10 bill. That was a bundle of money in those days. "Take this money," she said, "and buy something for someone who's in need. I'll wait for you outside in the car." Then she turned and walked out. I was only about 8 years old when it all happened. I'd often gone shopping with my mother, but I never had been out without anybody or been by myself. The store seemed crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their Christmas shopping at the last minute. For a few moments, I just stood there, confused, clutching my $10 bill, not knowing what to buy or who to buy for. I thought of everybody. I knew my family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at church and school. I was just about out of thought when I suddenly thought of Bobby Decker. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair, and he sat right behind me in my second grade class. Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew this because he never went out for recess when it was winter time. His mom would always write him a note, but we all knew that he didn't have a cough. We knew he didn't have a coat. I had the $10 bill in my hand, growing with excitement. I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy one that had a hood to it. It looked real warm, and I thought he would like it. "Is this a Christmas present for someone?" the lady behind the counter asked me kindly as I had laid the jacket on the counter. "Yes, ma'am," I replied shyly. "It's for Bobby." The nice lady smiled at me as I told her about how Bobby really needed a coat, and I didn't get any change. But she put the coat in the bag, smiled again, and wished me Merry Christmas. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the present, of course, and she stuck the tag in her little Bible that she always kept on her, in Christmas paper and ribbons, and wrote, "To Bobby from Santa Claus." Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy, then drove me over to his house. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and she and I crept noiselessly and hid in the bushes by his front walk. Then Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus," she whispered. "Get going." I took a deep breath, dashed to his front door, threw the present down on the steps, and pounded on his front door. And finally, I ran back, sat in the bush, and waited. Finally, the door opened, and there stood Bobby. 50 years haven't dimed the thrill of those moments spent shivering beside my grandma in Bobby Decker's bushes without him knowing. That night, I realized that those awful rumors about Santa Claus were just untrue. My grandma was right. It was ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were on his team. I still have the Bible with the coat tag tucked in it that read,